Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Kristin Hildabrand, Warren County Extension Agent for Horticulture. Now, Kristin, my mom, my grandma had one of these, and they say that they're a pretty easy plant.
And this is a holiday cactus that you can find available right now during the kind of the shopping season and also during the holiday season. And it is a long-lived type plant. So if you can care for it and you kind of know some of the tips for caring for it, it can last like hundreds of years. So with the holiday cactus, it's really hard to tell what specifically that you're getting. You're either getting a Thanksgiving cactus or you're getting a Christmas cactus. A lot of times people say the Thanksgiving cactus is the one that you typically find about this time of the year. And a lot of times in greenhouses and things like that, you can force a lot of these to kind of come in bloom depending on when you need it to. So the real easy one to be able to tell is the Easter cactus. These are actually called stems, and with these stems you can see it's a little bit more rounded and it has a couple little hairs coming out of the top of the stem segment. So that one is just a little bit easier to tell. But as far as the Thanksgiving or Christmas cactus that you can find here, they're all the same as far as caring tips. These plants actually are from native to Brazil, and they're actually epiphytes. So what that means is that they can grow on trees kind of in the crook of the branches and actually be in the shade there, and then they kind of are just really easy to care for. So whenever you bring these home, it's good to put them in light that is bright but indirect light. So you don't want to put it right in the the heat of the sun, or they just won't do well. So you want to make sure that you do position it there. A lot of times during the holidays we'll have it inside, but in the spring of the year, whenever the frost-free date happens, usually around May, mid to late part of May, after we start getting into those good consistently 50 degrees, then you can take them outside. And you can, sometimes people will put them underneath trees in the shade. You probably don't want to do that with a real shady tree like a maple or something like that, but you can certainly, if you don't want to put it under a tree in the shade, you can put it in a shady location on your back porch. That seems to be a really good area. And as far as the temperature goes, it really thrives in temperatures, daylight temperatures between 70 and 80 degrees, and it likes the cooler night temperatures to be able to bloom. So this is actually a short day type plant, so it likes to have, naturally as we start getting a little bit shorter, then that's when you're going to activate the blooms to actually happen. So as far as the soil requirements go, you can use a cactus type potting soil mixture. You do want to make sure when you water this that you keep it evenly moist. I know overwatering is really easy to kill and cause a lot of root rots and stem rots and things like that occur after it. So if you want to just kind of feel around the soil, and if it feels moist to the touch, just leave it alone. And if it does feel dry, you can go ahead. Generally, you want to keep it evenly moist through the active growing season, so about April to September you would want to do that. It's really important as you get closer to the bloom that you keep it evenly moist, because again, you'll have flowers. But it's really okay to let it dry out in between waterings, so that way you can let it go naturally go through the drainage holes of the container. I know they say clay pots are good for this particular type of plant, but certainly just make sure you have good drainage holes. And then I did want to mention also about fertilizer. So it's really good to actively use a well-balanced soluble fertilizer. Generally you're going to use it at the half strength, and then as it kind of gets closer to that flower development, you can kind of back off that a little bit. But definitely you want to stop fertilizing as you get closer to the bloom, because you don't want as much nitrogen to be vegetatively, you're going to stimulate that bud formation. But this is a great holiday plant, that people could obtain and keep for a lot longer than some of the other options.
And I think those are all good care tips, because I guess the biggest complaint I get about holiday cactus is mine never blooms.
Right.
It has a lot of green, but it never blooms. And so it could be any of those things: the temperature, the over-fertilization, the not watering correctly.
Right.
So I think all those are great tips.
And there's a lot of different blooms. Typically I think this one that we have on set is really pretty, but pink and whites and reds. Occasionally you'll see some orange and yellows. And this particular Easter cactus that we have, it typically blooms more in March to May.
All right. Well, Kristin, certainly appreciate the information, and hopefully you can enjoy some holiday cactuses or maybe give them as a gift. We appreciate you watching the Farm and Home Show and hope you have a great day.